Welcome, bam, to the week 16 of the FFFL in 2025, which was the semifinals and consolation bracket championship. I have the pleasure of having Meow Meow's manager, Glenn, with me today. Welcome, Glenn. I wish I could just give you a better, like, woohoo welcome, but we're both here.
I'm
Let's
just
lose.
glad to be alive, to be honest with you. Last night was a little rough, and as you're going to bed and you're like going, why?
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
uh, it was tough.
So I want to talk to you because we were talking a little bit about this, and you have multiple leagues. But before I even talked about that, I saw something behind you that says "Good game, ass dog." Is that what it says? It's on it right now. Yeah, yeah. You just looked at it. It's the one. So not the Stranger Thing. Yes, not Stranger Things, but next to
Sopranos,
it. Which one is that one?
Sopranos.
Sopranos. I just watched season one, episode five, literally before I came up here. That's what I work out to is the
Oh, it's
Sopranos.
We've made real progress here.
I don't know if you could hear that.
I did. We made real progress
This
here.
one here, it's like going, you can set the amount of cussing in the game. And so there's one mode where I don't know how is this a PG group gathering then?
No.
Okay. There's one mode where you're getting big points where every switch just says fuck. And every switch on the machine, it literally that means anything it hits, it goes fuck, and you just hear
Oh,
it. And my brother was here for the holidays, and my nephew was just killing it. And he's playing for about 4 minutes, and he's in this mode just doing great. And it's like fuck, and it says more than just fuck. It cusses more than that, but it's just
yeah.
like, and so it's like, and it was the funniest thing to just watch your nephew play in front of his dad a game that is just cussing and going, he's having a great ball, leave him alone.
Well, yeah, he's doing real well. I haven't heard that many fucks in a long time. That's amazing. Yeah, you got a lot of cool ones. So I know, how's your podcast going?
Oh, oh, it's taken a little bit of a back seat. Now
Okay.
it's much more of my what I would like to call my tax shelter. So um, we tied it
Hell
all.
yeah.
We
Hell
tied it
yeah. That's a good idea.
We tied it all in with our other stuff that we've talked about before with like music bingo and trivia nights and stuff like that. And by tying it together now, when we go and we on vacation somewhere, we normally try to shoot an episode when we're there so we can write off the trip. And that helps balance out the amount of money that we're making while we're hosting the other things. So it started off as just something fun, and now it has turned into something where it's like going, oh, we're going to Hilton Head. We should film an episode,
Fuck
Oh,
yeah. And guess
and we
what? Every meal, I need you to talk about, what was it,
tilt track.
tilt trek. I was like, Sandy, I need every meal. You got to say, hey, let's talk about tilt trek. And then
Exactly.
now it's covered.
Now it's
Yes.
a meeting. Yeah, no, they allow us because we travel. The easy one is you get travel both ways. We get the food for 2 days out of the trip for every episode. So it's
Okay.
so that way, because we go, normally it would be just for a day, but because everything's a traveling thing, the accountants had said, assume you're going to have 2 days out of however many days you're there. So when we were visiting you guys for Memorial Day, for example, we did an episode down in Peoria.
Nice. Love
So
it.
it's just silly things in retirement.
Well, and smart way to be. I mean, that's the way you got to. They make these rules for a reason, and those who are smart can take advantage of them. Maybe I got to do that with this podcast, you
That's
know.
that's what we need to do right there.
The
You just got to figure out a way.
FFFLLC, we'll just call it
Oh,
that.
speaking of which, I see you now have merch.
This was actually done by Dr. Sam. Um, it says established in 2022. I want to say he got it for me like 2 years ago
Okay.
or something. It's very cool. Yeah, he got, and I don't remember this was like our logo. I don't think it was. I don't know, but it was very cool that he got that. So I realized like I should probably wear that on some
Yeah.
podcasts.
So now that you have merch, now you're a company.
True. True. I gotta start maybe putting that out there too. I'll have to figure that out. Maybe you and I will have a conversation about how this works. And I
Exactly,
gotta,
exactly. I think I can see at least 12 something a year that you're buying, someone's buying from you. You know, it's
yeah,
like going, and now you're a sailing company, you know.
yes.
Look, we sell merchandise.
We sell this many widgets.
Exactly. In this case, 12 things, you know.
Yes,
Yeah, so
yes.
rather than, and plus we can avoid then any sort of gambling conflicts because what it is we're not giving money into a pool. What we're doing is we're buying $50 worth of merchandise from the FFFL store, which allows us to play in the game.
Yes. Thank you. And sometimes that comes with free swag. There you go. We'll do
And then
that.
you can always return it for cash value. You can
See,
always
exactly, exactly, which can be returned. We give you a gift receipt, all the stuff.
return. Sorry,
I
enough
like
about
it.
tax talk.
Well, all right, so we're gonna get into this, and you and I are hurting badly because we both lost our matchups, and they ended up being actually very close matchups, even though after Sunday it seemed like they may not be. And unfortunately, you and I are losing end, but we were kind of chatting. I was in multiple of semis, and not a single one went well for me. So I was hurting, and it was all like one decision. Like in ours, it was one decision, and another one, it was one decision, and another one. Let's just say Mahomes and Jaden Daniels both crapped out, and Mariota, who I then played, got a concussion. So I was just out of it. Like that wasn't even close. But mine was rough. But you had a rough one because you thought, as I did, you know what? I should at least be able to pull one of these out. So
Yeah, no,
tell me
no.
about it.
Now that we've established that this isn't a PG one, fuck San Francisco. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like going in this league here, they cut my hammy, and in my other league, I need it. Then going fine. If San Francisco's going to have a stellar day, let Kittle have a great day, and then I can come from behind with a San Francisco win.
Yeah.
So one way or the other, San Francisco wins big. I lose in this league, but that means I won in the other league because I have Kittle.
Yeah.
No, that's not who they threw it to. That's not where the ball went. I mean, they started to, and then they said, mm, mm,
Yeah.
fuck Glenn. Fuck Glenn.
Yeah. They
So sorry.
did.
I'll try to bring it back to PG again,
They
but I'm
did.
still the nerves are a little raw. They're a little raw to be in. I mean, next week in both leagues, I'm in the Super Bowl. In both leagues, I felt like I was doing the right things to do what I needed to do.
Yep.
I benched Lamar Jackson in my other league, going, he's going to be dog crap. So of course he was dog crap.
He
So
was. Yeah. He got hurt.
I'm thinking. So I start the Vikings quarterback because he's been on fire,
Yeah.
but he wasn't. But he
He
was.
got hurt. Yeah. He got hurt too.
And
Oh,
yet somehow or another,
yeah.
so bro ends up with people who are just, I mean, like, what the heck? What
Yeah.
I mean, Brock, Brock Purdy. He sounds like a cat. I mean,
He
that's a
does.
cat name.
That
That's
is. Oh my God. I didn't even think about it. He pulled his own cat. Like he just like it was kind of
I
like a
know.
sneaky cat maneuver there. Like
Exactly.
pouncing on you without you expecting it.
Oh, with a big bow in his hair.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, it was definitely rough. And we'll get into that. So what we're gonna do, everybody, I'm on a different computer, doesn't have any of this stuff, so we're gonna keep it like we did last time. But we're gonna go through obviously the semis as well as the consolation bracket championship game. Then we're just gonna go. There's no injury report, no waiver wire. Fuck, at this point, if y'all don't know what to do, then I don't even know why you're in the Super Bowl of this whole thing. So I don't think you need our help with any of those things. But then we'll get into next week and what it looks like because while we were losers this week, Glenn, we still have something to play for next week, and it's actually you and I against each other. I'll be honest, I didn't think that's what this was going to be. I reached out to y'all yesterday. I thought it was going to be you and Andy against each other. And then at one point, I was like, holy shit, it might be Casey and I against each other. That's kind of fucked up. Like, holy cow. But it was not meant to be for one of us.
Yes.
All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen here. Bring it up. Yeah, get out of here. All right, beautiful. All right, so let's first, Glenn, I'm just going to get this one out of the way. We're going to go into, oh, fuck it. See, this is where I don't understand it. We're going to get into my matchup with Andy here and figure out what happened there. So let me take us down. Boom. See, this was weird. I got to figure that out too, Glenn. Ah, there we go. It does what I want it to do. And then let's just bring it down a little bit. You don't need 100%, but we need a little bit. Can you see that okay? We're going to go 80. Are you able to see the starting
Yep,
lineup, Glenn?
yep,
All
you're good
right.
now.
Well, this was mine. Basically Ricky's Rodent Rockets scored about a buck 10. I scored 100 even. So Ricky's Rodent Rockets, they win the semifinals match against me by about 10 points. And it going after Sunday was a little worrisome. I was like, need a miracle. But by halftime, we were even. Halftime of last night's game, I was literally behind by half a point. In my mind, I'm like, all right, Kittle got me there. To your point, Kittle has a huge first half. Things are going great. We are now tied in my mind, and we just have one half of play. It's Jawan Jennings versus George Kittle at that point. Who can outplay each other second half? And then George decided not to play the second half.
Right.
So that kind of hurt. But outside of that, what do you think was the reason that Ricky's Rodent Rockets was able to take it from me?
I think it's truly just a matter of going. It was a low scoring game. No one was doing phenomenally at anything
No.
other than
It-
Kittle. And all of a sudden, Warren comes out and has the best game he's had since week 7, where at least in week 7 wasn't even that great of a game. So
yeah,
why? I mean, you could see why Andy would have put him in the flex spot. I mean, he's like, best I got,
yep,
and only to have it be if someone would have told, I'm sure even Andy, that his star player was going to be Jalen Warren.
yeah,
That the reason why he's in the Super Bowl is because he rode on the coattails of Jalen Warren for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You just don't write that stuff. And you lost because Kittle sat the second half. Again, or whatever happened to him. All of a sudden I
yeah,
just on my app it said questionable. And I'm like going, no, 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 no. Not no, not the dreaded red Q. Why are you
yeah.
So I didn't even see that part of the game to know what happened. I just knew as soon as I saw good points happening, and then I see a red Q, and I go, "Oh, this is not good."
Yeah, he think about it, he got 22 points in our league in the first half.
Right.
Like he and like so then you're looking at like I know he's not going to do that again in the second half, but he'll at least hopefully get another
And,
10, get another
exactly.
10 or
And
whatever.
that changes the outcome.
And I can't remember when it happened, Glenn. So he ultimately got an ankle. He like rolled his ankle,
Okay.
and I can't remember if it was the end of the first half or very, very beginning of the second half. But he basically didn't play that second half. And it's interesting because there were multiple things kind of going on as far as who I was going to play, how it was. Some guys were hurt, so then you're like, okay, do I play this guy instead right now because that other guy might not play? And that's how it went in other leagues of mine, where if I had been smart and just done that, probably could have gone better for me. But on his side, Ashton Genty was on his bench getting 40 points, but he was playing the Houston Texans that are
Yep.
a great defense. So I understand why he didn't play him. Where I feel bad is like I had Jared Goff in the whole time until Saturday. And I decided, you know what? I need McBride in another league, just like you did. And I was like, if McBride's going to go off, which I think he will, Jacoby Brissett will go off too. And therefore, I'm going to play Jacoby. But if I play Goff instead, I win.
You win. Right.
So
Correct.
it's getting down to the
And,
nitty-gritty details. Because
and
once
just so
Josh
you
Allen only
remember,
has 8 points, I'm like, I feel
I
good.
convinced you guys to pick up golf, and I tried to
Yeah,
give you to win. I
I know.
tried,
I know. And I'm an idiot.
but you outsmarted me.
Oh God. And it's like the over analyzing of everything when you get down to the to this time of the year especially where it just feels like those decisions matter so
Well,
much.
and Josh Jacobs too. I mean, I had Josh Jacobs and
Yep.
his backup, and I had DeAndre Swift. We'll cover that in a minute, and his backup. I was
Yeah.
ready because both of them were carrying a questionable
Yep.
status until 90 minutes before the game.
Yep.
And you're like going, and so I literally was at a Christmas party, set my alarm on my phone for 90 minutes beforehand, so that when it rang, I could sit there and go, oh crud, and then forget about it, which I did for the
Yeah.
first hour. And then in the last half hour before the game starts, I go, oh my God, that's why the alarm went off. And you start flipping through everything and you're like going, oh, they're both in.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel any better about watching either of them play.
No.
Like while you're watching the game, you're like going, yeah, no, I really feel like maybe I would have been better off with both backups. And
Yep.
that's what you got here. But who benches Josh Jacobs?
Correct. Because as you know, if you had him, he this entire time, especially in our league, he only had one game that was single digits this entire year. And it was like 9 points. So he puts up his worst point total of the year. And we'll get to some of your players here next because I unfortunately know too well of that too. But when your star players who you're gonna play come into these big games and put up their worst total, it just feels rough. And on his side, I mean Josh Allen only put up 8 points. Like
Yeah.
who
And
thinks
I, and
that's
I
gonna
think he's
happen?
got,
And Cleveland's a tough D, but that happens. Quinshon Judkins, I gotta check on his actual injury, but that was a major injury to Quinshon Judkins in the same
yep,
game. So lots of craziness kind of going on, but Andy ends up taking it. Congrats
yep.
to you, sir. You go to the championship game. Nice job. He hasn't been there before, so it's awesome that he gets into that championship game on his end. So congrats to you, Andy. Don't want to dwell on it too long because it's just there's so many moves that both sides could have made to claim one way or the other of a victory and a non-victory, right? So I'll leave it at that. But nice job, Andy. Glad to see you in there. Good luck to you this coming week. I'm rooting for Andy because he beat me, so then I could say I lost to the eventual champion. So that's what I'm gonna say. But nice job, Andy. But now we're going to get to your game. And this was the brutal one here. So I'm going to have you walk me through it. Sobro Cases Aces takes it by less than 10 points. They were down, I want to say they were down 65 going into last night. So they needed at least 30 plus from both Brock and Christian McCaffrey going into last night. So that's kind of how we left it off there. But you tell me a little bit about this matchup since you were a part of it.
No, I have post-traumatic stress disorder or whatever. I just don't know that I'm ready to talk about it yet. I think I've already summed it up when we cursed at San Francisco again, because you got to realize that
Yeah,
while in Illinois, I rooted most heavily for the Packers.
yeah,
And the Packers, more times than not, would get knocked out of the playoffs by San Francisco.
true.
So I did not realize how much I really don't like San Francisco until yesterday when all of a sudden this was happening again. And I'm like going, I think I am 100% anti San Francisco from now on. I'm just going to go, who do you want to root against? Anybody who's playing San Francisco because they just have been a constant thorn in my NFL enjoyment. And um, no more. I swear them off.
Yeah, they needed 65. I remember that because he had like just shy of 50 points himself. You were already done for with 113. And that was actually kind of unfortunate because like you were rolling into, I believe maybe it was a Sunday night game. I can't remember what game, but like you're rolling into either the afternoon slate of Sunday or the Sunday night game. Actually looking like your projection was near 140. So I remember when I woke up on Monday and I looked at your scores, like 113, man, he was like when I last looked, he was like 137-ish for your projection. But I can't remember what was the Sunday night game. Was that the Detroit game?
I I want to say yes, but now you're
Yeah,
just
I can't. Yeah, I can't. Man, I can't remember either. So I feel. I think it was. I think it was that Detroit game there. But anyway, going the afternoon slate, like you were looking like hot, and then that Atlanta Arizona game came, and Trey McBride ends up scoring the fewest amount of points he scored all year. And I think that also very much hurt you because you're never benching that man. That man will put out. He's in my. I love him. I love him so much. But what a rough game. Like, and not a like terrible scoring game. It was 45 points total within the teams. They were always within each other. They were in passing mode, but I don't know what the fuck was happening in Arizona or with Arizona. That was
yeah.
tough.
I don't want to talk about
Yeah, no, I get that too. But
it.
Yeah, but nice job. Sobro comes up with it. I mean, CMC ends up getting 36 and Brock Purdy ends up getting 39. What I was telling you before is you unfortunately were going against one of the few teams where the running back quarterback duo is one that you do actually kind of have to watch out for going off on a big game. I think like it hasn't happened this year, but like Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, Josh Allen and James Cook. If you have some of those combos, are like usually it's not great to have the quarterback and running back because both can't get the touchdown at the same time. But San Francisco, to your point, they throw a lot to Christian McCaffrey, so that actually can happen and probably did in that game, which costs, and that's that double up. That's stacking your players, and if you can get a double up on a touchdown, which now it's 12 points instead of 6 because Purdy threw it to Christian McCaffrey, then that hurts real effing bad.
And you got to give Sobro credit because in fact at the beginning of the season, people were all questioning whether or not you pick up Christian McCaffrey. Remember during the draft,
Yep,
it was a matter going, do I pick up Christian McCaffrey? Oh, he's too old. He can't keep producing like this. And everybody picked up people around him, including people like me picking up Gibbs. And here
yeah,
we are the last week in when it matters the most. And yet the old man who was not going to have the season, any of the people who didn't follow the hype that came out of all the talking heads as to who you should draw, probably had an experience like this. And while I hate talking about it, Casey really, that was something that he had to build that player at least
yep.
from the very beginning of the draft on. And there's some great credit to be given for that. So,
Agreed. Yeah, he was a to me. I was big on CMC this year, but in my head, it was a very boom bust thing because you're right. He was coming off of a devastating some injury issues the
yep,
year prior, heavy usage, and interestingly enough, this year he's been great in fantasy because of how many points he's going to give you, but he actually hasn't been great. His average he's averaged 3.5 yards per carry. That's terrible. But he gets so many. Like Kyle Shanahan does not care how old he is or how many times he's going to touch the ball. He will give Christian McCaffrey 25 to 30 touches a game. And in our league, because you get, half point per reception and
right.
2 points per carry, that's very meaningful. And his health and the fact that he stayed healthy was huge because he was doing this all year. I bet you he's probably now the number one running back in our league because with Taylor having that dip at the end here the last few weeks, we'll check it out here in the next round. But I would say that's probably where he was at.
Yep.
But nice job, Sobro Cases Aces. Congrats to you going to the championship round. What that means for you and me, Glenn, is we're facing off for that third place for that 50 Buckaroos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we get 50 back. So I mean, we'll see what happens
Oh,
there.
good. Well, good. You're going down then.
Okay, I'm taking you down. No, no. So we'll see
I
how it
probably
goes.
should
But
have looked
nice
at my I
job.
should look at my lineup better then. Okay.
Yes. So we
I
are
thought I
still
was
in
dead in
it.
the
So we
water.
still have to pay
So
attention. It's funny. I said it to Allison yesterday. I was like, well, I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday or Monday. I was like, well, the good news about me losing 3 out of these 4 semis is that I don't got to pay attention anymore. I was like, ah, fuck it. I don't got to pay attention. But I was like, oh, shoot. Like, there's a third place game in our league that I actually do have to worry about. So I was like, I guess these are dwindling down. We got one more week here.
okay.
So nice job to Andy, Casey. Way to be, everybody. All right, then we're going to get into this one. And oh my word. So the Cheesehead champions, okay. I want to say their probably lowest score in the past 3 weeks was like 135, 140. It's like something crazy where the Cheesehead champions, here's how I'm going to phrase it. I feel like, and we're gonna go the Sopranos here. Okay, we're gonna go a little Sopranos, little Godfather. I saw was back the other way on you, Glenn. So I'm gonna say you got a little bit of mob ties. Here's what EJ is. EJ, this whole regular season is him wanting to go to prison. Okay, he's now, and he wants to go to prison just because there's some shit going on in the prison that he needs to take care of. And now he's gotten to prison, which is our consolation bracket. That's prison. And he is just telling all these fucking guys, like, no, I am the real boss. And you need to stop your shit. and get it together. And that's why I have done this, is so I can come to prison and kick all of your asses. And now next year we're going to be okay. Okay, everybody? That's what apparently has happened because he puts up 157
High score to
points, which is
week.
a huge number, and he ends up beating Licho Loges by what is that, 70 some points, 60 some? Yeah, I think it's
Just shy
70.
of doubling.
Yeah, pretty close to it. Like, holy cow, what an ass whooping. I asked how did he get it done? We know at least one piece as to why, but what are some of the reasons that this happened?
You know, one, your analogy was long, but it was really good. It was
Thank
really
you.
good because it really does sum up what's happening there. I mean, if there's somebody like looking at the scores that we just saw coming into our Super Bowl next week,
Yeah.
I would be more worried about bumping into EJ than I would
Yes.
bumping into anybody else who's playing for one, two, or three.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so you start there, and then if there was somebody I wasn't afraid of bumping into, it's unfortunately probably Louis. You
Yeah.
know, this season has been, he went from our champ, to whatever this team is this year.
Yeah.
So it's like going, do we spend the whole time talking about how little points Licho scored, or do we talk the whole time about how many points EJ scored? You can just, you drive the conversation.
Well, you mentioned Jalen Warren having a huge game. Gainwell in that same game had a huge game. Their running backs combined for 60 points. So even if you had that running back duo and you're like, who do I play? Play them both because they scored a bunch. Puka Nacua was a huge player for him all year, except for he got hurt, and I think that's what kind of really hurt Cheesehead getting into the playoffs. And for me, that's actually the only thing that cost him the playoffs is that Puka was out for I think 3, 4 weeks, three at least 3 games, if not four, and he's such an important aspect to it. So yeah, you're right. Like everything he had there, he's just got a lot going on right now. So nice job, EJ. Way to take home the consolation bracket. That's 30 buckaroos for you coming out, and you have to buy, Palmer Joe something real nice for that 30 bucks. I don't know what that could be, but hey, we all 30 bucks is 30 bucks, all right? Don't golf at that. But Licho, yeah, unfortunately for Louis, as you mentioned, if you're not first, you're last is apparently his motto. And hey, I'm with you though, man. I the league I lost in that I thought I'd take it. I'm either in the top third or I'm the bottom third. Like I'm nowhere in the middle. So go for it is what we should do.
Yeah,
He tried.
we've all had years like that in the past if you've been playing for a while, and they're the most painful and dragged out. And it's like no matter what you do, and being the king of the waiver wire and stuff like that, normally something miraculously falls in your lap because you're always working it.
Yeah,
And this year, whereas I saw him do that in the past and be very successful at it, this year you end up with a team that has Stroud as the head,
you're right.
a KC running back who right
Cor-
now the KC is already eliminated. So
Yep.
it's like going, man, we barely, it's like going, and you just look at the whole thing and you just go, ah, and then why is Baltimore so bad? I don't know. I would have
Yeah,
thought,
yeah, exactly. I know. Lots of strange stuff happening this year. Yeah, definitely a tough go for him. And next year, there's always next year. And that's what I'm
correct.
saying to myself right now for my losses. So there's always next year. But again, nice job, EJ. Way to take it. Licho, sorry about it. But hey, at least you fought hard and you got to the championship of the consolation bracket after, both these teams being at the very bottom and feeling like
Exactly.
there's no hope. So
Yep.
we'll take
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Okay. Well, now let's get into the actual upcoming game. So now we're only going to focus on two of them. All right. Let me go into, I think I'm in the right spot. League home here. All right. We got the championship game coming up. So I'd rather finish on that one, Glenn, and then go to
Okay.
you and I's game.
Okay.
However, I'll be honest with you, and you're probably in the same boat. I didn't set a lineup because I kind of forgot it. But look at us. I mean, look, we got pretty good projections here, Glenn.
Yeah,
What?
I'll be honest with you. Until 5 minutes ago, I did not know I was playing for anything. So I'm glad I'm on this call because I may have missed any Thursday night game if I was slow on watching the video.
Yeah, no shit. It would have been
Um,
really rough for you,
to
man. But
realize, but it pretty much sums up my life right here, which is going, I should be able to beat you with my running backs.
yep,
I won't be able to beat you with my wide receivers. My wide receivers paid the price all year this year of trying to get my running back core and my tight ends where I wanted them to be at. And so I paid the price by weak wide receivers. And
sure.
sure enough, in that matchup, look at that. Not scheduled to do much in the old category of wide receivers.
And it's a tough one in our league, right? It's just not as valuable of a position in our league, and it's in that position, similar to the tight end, you really need a lot of touchdowns, coming from that position. So it is kind of tough there. And it's interesting you say that because Tet's number 12 on the year, Jalen Waddle's number 15 on the year. Do you feel like they were like, because I think you see some of these ranks. And then there's a ranking, and then there's also the feeling of the manager who actually had him and what was actually going on. Do you feel like they're? I mean, technically, Ted's then a wide receiver one for one of our teams. Like, yeah, you're shaking your head. You're like, nah,
Well, they're both playing for, they're one's playing for Carolina, one's playing for Miami.
yeah,
Miami doesn't know what it wants to do with its quarterback situation. So you're looking at a guy who is only as good as the person who's throwing the ball to him because it's not like a running back where they can at least go just hand it to him.
yeah,
He's got to be have that thrown to him. And it's the same way with Carolina. We don't know what we're doing. It's a
yep,
matter of going. Yeah. So we're number one in the South right now.
yeah. You guys are doing great. I love it. It's
I don't know what that means. I mean, like we're going to play the Seahawks next week, and I
oh
refuse. I refuse to go to the game just because I don't want to be there and watch a bunch of Seahawks fans be happy.
yeah, yeah. They got a really good team. Seattle is at the top of the league in the NFL, and they're very well balanced and can do a lot of things. But to your point though too with the Panthers, I think they're kind of doing what you thought they would actually do this year, to be honest. Like I don't think you'd expect them to be first in the division. It's just a crappy division. But I think they are in that spot where you were as a fan base hoping they would be, which is we are okay and young. We're okay and young, which is where you kind of want to be because that hopefully means that next year and the following years upcoming are going to be good because your defense has shown at times that they can actually be a pretty solid defense, especially in the defensive backfield. You actually have like guys that can cover wide receivers. Like J.C. Horn is a great player.
Yeah.
Um,
You've got problems though. You've got Canales, however you
yeah,
say his name. He's learning the game of how to play football. I mean, for the longest part, it was, run, dawdle, run, dawdle.
yeah,
It's like going run, 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 run. What's your next play? Run him. And you watch him make bonehead calls, and then you watch Young, who you gotta it helps me to remember that he's like the youngest starting quarterback in the league because of
okay,
fact it's a matter going because we blame him all the time for being short
we
because he
do,
just
yeah,
can't see over the line or whatever. And I think there's something to be said for that, but it's just a matter of going. But when you see stats about how young he is compared to so many, he just, it's like you got to figure out who's going to let the other one be okay. Like let
yeah,
him move his legs more. And that's what they've been doing finally here. But locally, most people hate both of them. And they're slowly working their way up into some form of not contentment, but just going, okay, maybe.
yeah.
It's like going and maybe we're okay with this decision because otherwise they're they're the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I think Bryce Young is going to be that's
Sure.
going to tell where the
Hey,
Panthers are
keep
going in
keep
general.
keep telling people all about what's going to happen. I got to go grab a power cord. I didn't grab it for this
No,
computer,
go
and I
ahead.
was about to blank out.
Yeah, go ahead. But yeah, I was just to keep this rolling. I do think, and this is for the whole FFFL because I'm sure you care to hear what I have to say. But to me, Bryce Young, and many of you probably know it, that is where the Carolina Panthers, their direction will go. Will follow him. And so far, he's just been so inconsistent, and that's a young player that can be inconsistent. It's in general, but he's shown signs that he could be really good, and so I would hopefully have faith that he turns it around because I think that's going to be one of the things for them is this upcoming year in 2026. That'll say whether or not he's going to be their starting QB moving forward. Because if he comes out, I think, and plays the same way in 2026, I believe they'll be looking for a new QB in 2027's draft. Just because I think that's the most important position in all of sports, as people talk about, is the quarterback for an NFL team, and therefore, if you've got what you do have, but you have a quarterback that's kind of Trevor Lawrencing it in a sense, right? I mean, Trevor Lawrence is finally looking good the past few games, and we're like, oh, is Trevor Lawrence finally here? Well, we have 6 years or 7 years of Trevor Lawrence to tell us, no, he's probably not. It's probably just this time. And so far, Bryce Young feels a lot like that because they're both drafted very highly. Both were going to be. I don't think Bryce Young was looked at as generational like Trevor Lawrence was, but at least look, they're number one picks. They're going to be this
Right.
big time thing, and they're both playing. They both played so far in their careers. Like, huh? I don't know. It's kind of like sometimes. It reminds me of Office Space, where he's like, well, sometimes, like that's what it feels
Well, it's
like.
kind of like when you watched, when the Bears put that dirty helmet to hit on Love, because that was their second, attack directly at him. We'll take the penalties, but we're
Yeah,
taking the quarterback. And it really seemed like it was intentional in what the Bears were doing towards Young in that game. They got what they were targeting, which was we're taking the man out. And you see a backup quarterback come into the game and have more command over the game than the guy you've been developing for the
yeah,
last so many years. And you go, oh, wow. Or I look at like New Orleans rookie who's now in all the time.
yeah. Tyler
We're
Shuck.
always butchering his last name, but he's another guy who right now he looks like he's got a lot of at least his accuracy is better. Like if you watch Bryce Young's passes, they are almost so often back here.
Yeah,
Like it's like his eyes are crooked or something because of the fact that he looks here rather than where they're going to be.
yeah. Well,
Um,
good luck to your Panthers moving forward. I think you take this matchup. Andy and I were talking about it on our last podcast, but I think you have such a solid team that I don't see how I'm going to overcome it. I know you got to play the games and whatnot, but based on what I saw from my team this past week, we're
I'm
going to say that I think you got this one. I don't know that I have many answers to kind of come back with a Justin Herbert who's looking great and things like that. So,
I I agree with you. I think I've got you,
yeah.
but I also thought I had last week. So what do I know?
Yeah,
What do I
I
know?
know. I'm looking at it the same way. I'm with you there. With you there. All right, so now let's get to the game that actually matters. And this is the actual championship game. I mean, if these two set their lineups, look at that 119.6 to 119.8 projection. This is what we want from our championship matchup. Like I said, I don't know if any of them have. I can tell you, Andy's changed it because Ashton Genty is now in his lineup. So he did make that adjustment. I don't know. Ooh, who came out of? So that means the running back that came out of his lineup was either Michael Carter or Tajay Spears, who I didn't think was in his lineup before because he had Tyrone Tracy in there and somebody else. We'll have to see. But he did put Ashton Genty in, so I know Andy's has changed. On the other side, it has not because I know he still has, for example, Devontae Adams on the bench here. We'll have to see where his health is at to see if he can actually go. And I don't know if they're going to utilize the Steelers versus Cleveland or they're going to stick with the Seahawks versus what you just said, your Carolina Panthers next week, which I think either one's probably smart, but Seahawks are the number one defense in our league, so you might want to
Correct.
Just
Yeah,
continue that on.
yeah.
That seems smart.
Yeah, I had the Seahawks in the other league. I played against them this week. It was hard to bench them, so I didn't. I paid the price that so did Casey with his -4 for the
Yep.
week. But it was just a matter of going, that's not a question this week. You know,
Yeah.
Bryce Young is going to give them opportunities, and in those opportunities, the defense is I am really surprised by I mean, I know there's a weak line on the Chargers and stuff like that right now to protect so that they're not favored, but again, it's by point two. So
Yeah.
these are two, one defense is playing against a team that, is got a banged up starting lineup, so they'll get access to Rivers. And then you've got, you know, they're playing this Carolina Panthers, and every week it's feast or famine, but they should be able to get some points there.
Yeah, I think so. I like the Seahawks against Carolina, and it's interesting that the top two defenses in our league are facing up against each other this week with the
Yep.
Texans on Ricky's Rodent Rocket side and then the Seahawks on the Sobro Cases Aces side. So that's very interesting to me. Both teams are rolling with a three running back set. Ricky's Rodent Rockets going with Ashton Genty, Jalen Warren, and Tyrone Tracy as the three. On the other side, you have Christian McCaffrey, Bucky Irving, and Tony Pollard. Which of those backfields do you like most? The first one of Genty, Warren, and Tracy, or do you like McCaffrey, Irving, and Pollard?
Well, again, we were talking about McCaffrey beforehand and stuff like that, and they've been just playing hot. I mean,
Yeah.
these last so many weeks, you've got Josh Allen, who's not been playing so hot, and you've got Brock Purdy, who just came off of a great game. They've had some stuff there. So right now, I'm saying San Francisco is playing just good. So I'm going with any running back. If it starts off with what looks like his number one running back is McCaffrey. So if I'm just comparing, if we start off with who their number one is in both spots, you know, Ashton has been putting up some great points, but I don't know. It's
He's
hard
feast or
to.
famine, though, it seems like, right? It
Yep,
feels like he's had a couple, two or three of these like 40 point. I know he's, I think, gone for 40 at least one other time in like a 30 spot, another. But then it seems like it's only 10, right?
correct,
And that's
correct.
that
And
that
then,
hurts.
yep. And so that's why I'm like, I'm going with the McCaffrey lineup.
Yeah, I would say the same. Wide receiver wise, I feel better about the other side of it, but it's going to be very interesting because Sobro Cases Aces has Brock Purdy, but on the other end, Ricky's Rodent Rockets has Jawan Jennings. However, in that San Fran offense, as we saw, they spread it around. I mean, if Kittle's going to play this week, I think that actually hurts Jennings because they play a similar style of the field, all that stuff. It's going to be a really nice close matchup. Man, I don't even know what way to lean, but I'm going to lean Sobro Cases Aces way because with those three running backs, all three have a good matchup of McCaffrey against Chicago. They're not a great run defense. Bucky Irving against Miami, who's also a terrible run defense, and Tony Pollard against New Orleans. They're about middle of the road with that. On the other end, Warren against Cleveland. Cleveland is one of the best defenses in the league in the NFL, so that's going to be a tough call. And Josh Allen is going against the Philadelphia Eagles, another really top-notch defense, and that could be a tough match for him. So I'm going to lean Sobro Cases Aces way. But one of the things I will note, Glenn, is you all in the West. I mean, that's who it's a showdown between two West teams. In the East, we brought more people to the playoffs, but we didn't bring anybody to the promised land, and the West
Wow,
is going to take it
that's
this year.
right. Wow.
And in the semis, that means what, three of the four teams? Well, is it three of the four? No, I think it's two of the four because you're in the East, right?
Right.
So unfortunately, the East, we're battling for third, and the West gets to get first and second. Not cool. Don't like it.
Wow. Wow. Good observation. Now I feel even worse about it.
Yeah, now we feel
I
awful.
couldn't even represent my division. So
Yes.
so
But
now I
what
not
that
only let
sounds like,
myself down, I let others down. Thanks. Thanks.
but the trophy I think is going to end up in Indy. That's what I'm predicting is the trophy does leave Omaha and ends up in Indy with the Sobro Cases Aces. So I think they're going to hoist it this year. But kudos to both of you.
Yep.
Good luck to both teams.
We all wish
We're
we were
rooting for
there.
none of you.
We all wish we were in this spot.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, nice job, and thank you, Glenn, for hopping in. You were kind of talking about we were sharing the holidays, and what you're doing. So you're going to be hanging out, getting some Chinese food, but also seeing some family via Zoom. If you need my password to get, full Zoom access, you just let me know. I can get you over to my Zoom access, and you can even record it, watch it for next year.
You may have an idea there. I don't be surprised if they set it up on their side, but my the family is now Sandy's the youngest of all the girls, and so everybody's now retired, including where our Zoom pass used to come from, which was thanks to WWTP in Chicago.
Oh, really?
So yes, I thank you. I appreciate that, and uh,
What is WWTP? What is that
is it,
one?
or is did I get that wrong? Maybe I did my Peoria station. What's channel 11 in Chicago? Your public TV.
Like PBS?
Yeah.
WTTW, I think.
Okay. WTTW in
Yeah.
Chicago. Yeah.
Okay.
So Sandy's next oldest sister was was a producer for
Oh
there.
shit.
So she just retired. So we always had access to Zoom for a corporation card. And then when I was
Nice.
in education, I always had access to it. And so you being the young whippersnapper you are may now be the only full access we have anymore.
Woo!
So,
All this.
although I will trade my time off, my pickleball for your workday. So
Yeah, I saw that you were pickleballing to get some that stress out, sweat it out,
just
get
wanted to
that.
smack something. Just want to,
But you know what? I good for you for, handling your demons. You're wearing a Christian McCaffrey jersey right now when he was on the Panthers, so you're kind of like, I'm
yeah,
gonna
we had to
just
get rid of that guy.
yeah, he was just not good enough and he wasn't gonna last. He wasn't
Right.
gonna be good for years later.
Yeah,
Um,
I thought about wearing my Buster Mayfield jersey on Panthers because he really was the best player we had on our team. By being on the other team, he's the most
yeah.
helpful person. He gave us the last game, so he's rapidly becoming my favorite Panthers player. But only because of the work he does when he plays against with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, no shit. Oh gosh, they did well against him. They know him too well. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Carolina just
yeah.
knows him. So, but we wish you all a happy holidays.
You too, man.
There's so much family out there. Everybody's kind of spread out. We hope you're safe around the holidays. We hope you get to enjoy it with friends and family, get all the good stuff, all that good food, and just the great memories that you're going to get. And enjoy the traditions because for me personally, I'm not a Christian, but I celebrate Christmas in the American way of we see family, we see friends, we give, we do those things that I love about the season, which is giving and being able to go see if people smile because they didn't expect you to drop them a hot chocolate bomb or something small. Even
I
those
agree.
little things is actually what I probably enjoy the most for the holiday season. What's your number one thing before we get off this call?
For the holiday?
Yeah.
Holidays are just organized excuses to get together and party, so it's a matter of going. So to me, this is one more holiday. I don't care if it's Memorial Day, Labor Day. I'll celebrate Father's Day if someone would sit there and say, "Hey, we're all getting together for Father's Day." I'd be like going, "I'll bring my dog,"
Love it.
It's like, so yeah, no, I just love being able to get together with everybody and if we any reason we can come up with is a good reason for me.
Yeah, you're always gonna have fun, no matter what. When you're with friends and family, something's gonna happen, and every year there's something that's gonna happen that you'll remember from, that year forward because it was probably either stupid, funny, or just ridiculous. So I love
Hey,
it.
I have one question for you before we call it
Yeah.
quits. So, a buddy of mine I was just thinking about this because we were doing a Christmas party with him the other day. He's the drone pilot for the Carolina Panthers.
What?
And so all their aerial shots are are not they're almost all done by him. If you ever see it, where if you're ever watching a Panthers game, which most of the people aren't, but if you were ever watching one, you would see that if it's closer to the building, when it zooms, then it's him, as compared to sometimes they'll use airplanes, but the airplanes can't get as high or
Yeah.
can't get as close.
Yeah.
And I asked him if he'd ever be interested in doing a guest part to come on in here and chat with the FFFL. And he
Yeah.
was like, absolutely. So just so you know, if
That'd be
something in the
cool.
2026 league, if you sit here and say, if you could figure out a way in your schedule to work them in, I'm trying to work on guest speakers for your thing. So
I
you
love it because I would love to get. I mean, we have Carl that comes on every once and again. You got Dr. Sam that obviously does the injury report. I like getting as many people involved in this as possible and getting some cool,
he
fun
says he
things
can
for
tell
him.
you nothing about football, but he does it because he does it for NASCAR, and then once he
Oh,
was doing it for NASCAR, then all of a sudden the NFL, because it's the same people who work for Fox who do these things, so they were like going, "Hey, would you come on in and do the Panthers?" And
yeah,
he's working his way into different college games now, and so it's
cool.
spreading more and more. And like you said, Carl will probably give you better advice for who to pick, but he could at least share a little bit of knowledge that I think you do a nice job with people like Dr. Sam. I keep always using the fact that some of the knowledge that he has given us over the years has really influenced how I look at a player coming off of an injury.
Yeah,
And I just thought it would be another bit of information that potentially your FFL viewers would really enjoy.
oh, I could come up with a litany of questions for him just because I'm interested in like I don't ever think about flying a drone myself, but like for somebody to get into that and then as you're saying he's like building himself up to where he's going to be doing this more and more, it's like I'm always interested in finding out like how'd you get into it? Like what are some of the factors you think about? Like shoot, and what we do, how does weather impact what you do and how does shit like
Well,
that?
and it's cool because he has to have secure. He's invited me to come over to his garage where he's editing on the fly at most NASCAR races. So he doesn't even have to be at a lot of these things. And he's patching things in. And you're just like going, this is crazy that, you get on like he has to get there in the morning hours early because they have to do a walkthrough of what's going to happen. And he's
Yeah,
part of the camera crews even though he's his own separate
that's
thing.
interesting.
And so it's
Yeah.
I think people would find it interesting, if nothing else, of what it's like to be in another aspect of the league.
Yeah.
And so I'm just throwing that out there, and I wanted to say it to you on camera in case anybody makes it to the end of one of our episodes, that we could maybe get feedback from
Would you
them.
like this?
Yeah. And if no one mentions this, then we'll know no one's
Yeah.
ever seen the end of one of our long rambles.
All right, so this is a task for you FFFLers. We need to hear from at least a few of you, to hear your decision on should we bring on the drone expert, is what we're going to call. What's his name again?
Jeremy,
Jeremy. Should we bring on Jeremy and ask him some questions and find because I am interested in that. So I'm saying yes, but I'm not. Hey, I'm talking on it. I've been here. I'm on all the end of these episodes. If we hear some votes, yay or nay, I don't care, then we'll know.
that's
So that is the
that's the
task.
that's the goal. That's why I threw it here at the end.
That's the
Let's
call to
just
action right
let's
there.
do
It's the
it.
call
And
to
then
action.
if you and I are the only two votes, then we'll know it may not be that they're not interested. They just weren't
Yeah.
interested in you and I.
Yeah. I'll put exactly. I'll put up a league manager poll. I'm not gonna specifically spell out that poll, but I'm gonna say there's a question at the end of this
No, don't,
podcast.
no, 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 no clues, no clues. I don't want
Yeah.
people fast forwarding up to this to get to here. I want
Yeah.
people to believe that we were still just getting ready to say goodbye and talking about
Yes.
the holidays, and then they went
Yes.
kind of like leaving the game at that. If you thought that you left the Bears game because of the fact that you were convinced you were going to get your ass whipped by the Packers,
Yeah.
only to find out that because you wanted to get to your car faster,
No, my
only to
gosh.
find
Yeah.
out that they
Yeah,
missed
no
the best
shit.
part of the game. So,
Love it. Well, happy holidays to you, Glenn. Thank you for hopping on
yep,
with
Merry
me.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, to everybody. Here, we got 2 days. So tomorrow's Christmas Eve and then Christmas. So
Rah, 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 rah.
Enjoy it, everybody. Thank you again, Glenn, and good luck to those who are still in it this week. I hope I beat you.
You're going down.
You're
Meow,
going. All
meow,
right. Thanks again, Glenn. Peace out.
meow, meow.